Welcome to USMLE SARTI. We are committed to empowering IMGs. We're excited to guide you on your match journey. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get notified whenever we add new content. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter for the latest tips and tricks regarding everything USMLE. Now, let's dive into it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everyone. So this is a special session on SOAP, supplementary offer and acceptance program, something that many of you may know about and will need to know about if you don't match in this season. So we have a very special guest, Dr. Ehtesham Zahoor. He was our student, a former Sarthi student, and he matched in SOAP last season, so season 2023. So that's why he's here to share some tips and what to do, what to expect during the SOAP. So we'll have him on, and then Shayla and I will go over some of the timeline and some of the other logistics issue around SOAP. So without further ado, welcome, Ehtesham. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you very much for having me today.
So, Ehtesham, as we get started, can you talk a bit about your journey, as in from your med school and how you now where you are?
Okay, so my name is Ehtesham Zahoor. I was born in Pakistan, in a city called Jhang. It's not very far from your ancestors are, like Dera Khan, once you told me.
Yeah.
So I did my pre-med from there and then moved to Karachi. It's one of the biggest and the metropolitan cities in Pakistan. I did my med school there. And then I also did 1 year of house job there. That's called like intern training. And that's where I decided that whatever guidelines we were following, implementing the clinical knowledge is from US-based research most of the times. So that's where I decided to, do my training here in US. So I did my USMLE Step 1 and 2, became ECFMG certified, and then I applied in the match. And I applied for internal medicine only.
Okay.
And yeah.
So, without further ado, let's cut to the chase. So, let's talk about SOAP.
Yes.
Obviously, it must have been very disappointing when you got that email on Monday morning that you didn't match. But walk us through your feelings and how quickly you recovered, and then, of course, got ready for the SOAP.
Sure. So yeah, I remember, I don't forget that day. It was around 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning when I received the email saying that I didn't get match or didn't accept it for any position, applied for categorical IM. So, for a few minutes, definitely I was upset, and that's quite normal seeing that you didn't get match. But right after that, I motivated myself by saying that we still have a few seats left. When I saw in the SOAP list, in the programs, and how many seats are left, they were in hundreds. So I thought at that point, because in my country, we do have a list system like merit list, first list, second list, third list. So that's how I motivated myself, saying that this is just the first list and there are a few lists to go. And why not me? Like all of us who's going to participate in SOAP must be thinking like that we didn't get match, and then we have to think about the next year, next plans, how we're going to navigate the next match cycle. But why not just give our best in this week and see? But still, there are a lot of like positions left, and we are on the same boat. So I remember it was like 8 or 9, and I didn't eat my lunch from all the way from 9 a.m. in the morning to 9 p.m. I did thorough research about the programs who are going into the SOAP and where I can apply and I have the best chance. So I didn't do I was honest with myself by saying that not just one page review about the program. The key and the secret of success for me was thoroughly reviewing the program and how I can tell them I'm the best match for them and I know the program. So not just the first page where you get the overview about the program. I went into the details, like, do I know anyone over there, any seniors, anyone from my country who matched there? Do I know the geography of the program? and I'm aware of anything, because the most important thing for them at that point is not your profile, your scores and everything. That's on the paper. Once you get the interview, the only thing that matters the most for them is how they're gonna get along with you for the next 3 years. Do you know something about them, or you just randomly applied in the SOAP just like other students? Because you automatically get eligible for SOAP, so they will definitely ask you about that, why our program? And that's the key. If you answered that correctly and you know them, definitely you will stand out compared to the rest of the applicants. So I straight away, did research about the 45 programs I'm going to apply, like straight to 12 hours. I make my notes and I found out like these are the best programs. And the second thing I did was I didn't left few programs for the next cycle or something. I applied to all 45 programs in my first round, because just imagine the few programs that align with you, with your profile, and they are looking for you, but you didn't apply, thinking that maybe if I'm not get matched in the first round, I will apply them in the second, round. So I applied to all 45 programs in the first round, because that's the round where you have the most number of seats. Most of the programs, they have like 2, 3, 4. Few of them have like, very few of them have like more than 5 seats left. So these are the two things I did. Thorough research about the program, because they're gonna ask you, mostly you get a phone call or something initially. So I want everybody to be, those who don't get matched, be ready with your US phone number. And if you are in US, that's a great point, because they can call you anytime, starting early in the morning to. So keep your phone with you. You can get calls, attend any call with the unknown number. Don't think like it's a spam call or something like that, because they are calling from different parts of the world and you don't know sometimes. So keep your phone with you. You will get a call initially. Sometimes that's the interview, the phone call. But in my case, I got a phone call and where we have a brief introduction about the program and myself. And then next day, there were a few faculty members who wanted to talk to me. And then I have a virtual interview. So, and the question were the same, that why our program, as I mentioned, and also some behavioral questions, because the most important things for them is you're aware of the program, you know how the program runs here, the people, in the faculty and everything, the residents who got matched there, what's the geography, how's the weather there, what kind of population you're going to treat and all that, and what kind of temperament you have, whether you'll be able to withstand the pressure and the stress of the residency, and all these kind of questions. So behavioral questions, they're going to definitely ask, and ask also that what you know about their program. So you don't have much time to, open your note, because you are on the phone call and something like that. So you must be, ready to answer those questions. So it could be either just one phone call, and it could be both, like phone call and. So that was my experience, if
Okay.
I summarize.
This is very, very lovely, excellent, very in-depth. Taking a step back, what strategy did you follow to select the 45 programs? How did you select
Yes.
those 45?
So as I mentioned, if I'm in an area, for example, if I'm in Midwest or East or something, any program in that region that's participating in the SOAP, any program I was interviewed at but didn't rank me, or I didn't rank, up in the order. So if you are already interviewed at that program, that means your profile is already accepted there. Due to some reason, either you didn't rank them high or you were not ranked high by them. So that was my second point. So do I know anybody like in that region, the IMG friendly program, it is close to my profile, where I'm thinking that I have a good chance. So not just randomly applying that, yes, I have to fulfill like, so usually sometimes you don't qualify to all those 45 programs. So don't be strict. Go for the first like 20, 25 programs. You think that, yes, I have a best chance matching there. And then the next 20 programs, still do little bit of research, at least for applying that, yes, my profile is close to what, I have a chance, because at that time, they don't have much time. The program will contact you, not contacting them. And they don't have much time to thoroughly review, just like in a journal match, we have their months and months to review. So there is a possibility that just small, things can be overlooked. So go with the most. For example, if I have signaled 7 programs and I didn't get the interview from those, and one of them is participating in the SOAP, definitely apply to that program. And you can tell them in the interview that I signaled this program, unfortunately didn't get the interview, or you got the interview, as I mentioned, and didn't get ranked by them. So anything that can tell, yes, you are interested and you know the program very well.
Okay. Again, a question that we get. So after September, if people do rotations or there is a change, obviously the ERA CV cannot change. Did you apply a new LOR for SOAP? Did you use the older LORs which were before September? How did you go about the actual application, SOAP application?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, from my experience, they prefer the recent US clinical experience. Being a foreign medical graduate, they know that you got a stellar profile and you were gold medalist, you were doing great in your country, but they never been to your country. They didn't do enough research about the hospitals you worked in your country. The system here is totally different from what we see in South Asia and all those kind of countries. So they want the fresh US clinical experience and genuine letter of recommendations. So whatever you think is genuine and is a high value, upload those. And they prefer the recent one, the same academic year. For example, if you have a letter maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I won't recommend that. Anything that is recent and is genuine, they prefer that because that helps them that, yes, you are equally good in their healthcare system because you are going to start as a resident physician. You will be involved in the direct patient care. So that matters to them. So letter recommendation do hold a lot of importance. So the key is recent ones and the genuine ones.
Okay. Was there anything surprising or you were not expecting in the entire SOAP process? Anything that kind of said, wow, okay, I didn't know this or I didn't expect this?
To be honest, yeah, the surprise, starts when you see that there are a lot of seats left. Initially, when I wasn't into the SOAP, I thought maybe like 30, 40 seats probably. And it's close to impossible. People say like that as soon as you see, oh no, SOAP is close to impossible. If you don't match in the journal match, it's very hard to get into the SOAP. But no, I motivated myself and did find out it was over like 150 or something seats there. A lot of programs, they have a even good repute too. Sometimes they have extension in their seats and all that, and they were there. And I just motivated myself and kept all my options open and did receive the call. So that was a little bit surprised.
Okay, so this was excellent. Now let's talk about in general your match season preparation. So I know you did rotation with Sarthi as well as you were in the platinum plan. So how was all that useful, the interview preparation, rotation?
Yes, yes, it was very useful, in fact, because being an international medical graduate, not aware of the system pretty good, and we don't have any like platform you can say except some social media, groups where you see answers from everywhere from everyone, and it's mostly confusing. So I wanted to know from the people who are already in the system and or who know the system very well, and they have a proven success rates and all that. So what I did, I started quite early in my math season, right after the March. I got my profile reviewed. That was very, very helpful. I was confused in a lot of things. By just the profile review, they gave me the roadmap, what to do and what to expect. The first thing was getting enough interviews. There are 2 parts of match, I would say, getting the interviews and then how to ace those interviews. So Sarthi helped me in both of those. And the mentor I got, basically, I was in direct touch with them. They were attending physicians in the current healthcare system, taking the interviews, and they also took my mock exam. So starting with the application process, my application, how to write that, in the tabulated form, in the points form, attending name, dates, and everything, how to present that so that it's easier for the programs to review in 5 minutes. And then the personal statement, very, very important. Should not be too long, should not be too complicated and all these kind of things. So it was reviewed twice by a journalist, given to me by the Sarthi. And then letter of intent, they told me to start, writing those early in the match process, not after September. And that was very true, because now I've seen that after September, they get so busy, they have tons of applications, and they don't have time to review all that email. But yes, around like June, July, August time, if you send them, they definitely open it. And I was able to secure 2 interviews because of that in my match. And, I got an email, yes, let us know when you apply and all that. So attach that and send that, and I was able to secure the interview. So that was a great thing. And after, the match began, they told me to start in the nitro mode in the 5th gear. Don't wait, start preparing for the interviews and all that. And your sessions were marvelous. How to do like a 3-minute, answer, first, second, third, and everything. That made it so easier for me. And then practice again and again. And then giving the mock exam made the season, easier for me to navigate. And I knew what I'm doing and what I have to do. And then sending the letter of intent and all these kind of things with the handwritten notes and something like that. That was really helpful. You do get a reply back from them by doing these kind of things. So I think in every stage, they do help you. They stay in touch with you. You don't, you don't have chaos. You don't panic on what to do next and all that. So continuing all the way to the SOAP, they were with me. And it was very, very helpful.
Last question for you as we wrap up. You talk a bit about your US clinical experience. You did quite a bit, and one of them was with, I think, the program director that we work with. So how was overall USCE?
Yes, so I wanted to get a recent one, and wanted to do like in different parts. For example, if you belong from a city in US that is not IMG friendly, I'm talking about like my personal experience. So sometimes they think that he did all his rotation in that city and he's not planning to move, right? That kind of impression goes towards the program director that he stayed there, he did everything in there, and I don't know whether he moves to that city or not. It's very hard to move from east to west or something like that. So I wanted to do my clinical rotations IMG friendly states. So that's where I saw that in Sarthi clinical rotations, they have those kind of opportunities in the same academic year where applied in the match. So I wanted to do in July, August, September, right before that match time. And I wanted to do with one of the program directors, because most of the program directors know each other and they're more genuine and neutral towards you, because they know how important this letter is for your match season. So what I did, I just went to the website. I had plenty of options there. Everything was clearly written, what you're gonna get, what kind of letter will be that, is it inpatient, outpatient? So depending on your profile, so what you want, it was clearly listed, and it happened exactly like that. So I applied there. I got an email directly from the program director and the attending, welcoming me. They gave me my schedule way ahead of time. And then we had a group in Sarthi that helped to get the accommodation there. Like people who done the rotation before me, they were leaving those places, nearby places. So that was really helpful. I got the accommodation nearby, just a walking distance, and I knew how the rotation goes. And then eventually was able to secure inpatient letters. And in one of my interviews, program director clearly mentioned that you got a very good letter, and they're like anonymous. They usually upload themselves. I don't know what they wrote. So one of my letter, I worked hard in that rotation because I knew if I work hard, I'm going to get a good letter and they're going to help me in that. So one of my interviews, they definitely mention about the letters, and it is very important. As I mentioned, being from IMG background, they want to know how you excel through our system, because it's not something they're going to give you rotations to start with. Right on the first day of residency, you're going to start as an resident physician. So this was my story about that.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Ehtesham. This was a very, very productive session. And to our attendees, we are staying back. Sheila and I will stay back. But Ehtesham, any last minute tips for SOAP for the attendees?
Yes, so the tip is, I know that it's going to be hard after seeing that email that you didn't get matched. Don't get upset. You still have a second and third and fourth, that's what I'm going to say, list left. So don't waste your time. This is a week you can change your destiny. This is a week You still have a lot of seats left, and the people who are applying in the same boat. So don't think that you cannot get matched. So give your best. Do as much research as you can about the programs. You never know. There's a chance you're gonna get a call, and that will change your next year, your life entirely. So give best chance, do a thorough research about the programs, and apply to all 45 programs in the first. That's what I did, and it worked for me.
Well, thank you very much, Ehtesham. Very,
you.
very perceptive lecture, and thank you for helping other IMGs, and
You're
good luck
welcome.
in your PG2.
Thank you. And good luck to all the attendees for their match.
Thank you. And
Thank
guys, if you want to stay back, Shella and I will take questions and we'll go over the logistics of the SOAP now. So before we do that, let me see what questions we have. So Shella, you may want to put the links to the everyone, right? So I think some of your links are going to the panelists. So let me take a couple of questions before Shella and I will do all that. What happens if we don't have a US number? Absolutely required, as Ehtesham also mentioned, you should have a US number because they may not send you an email for interview in SOAP. So get a number, get a Google Voice or some number. What if spots in my preferred specialty are filled and LORs and application is solely focused on that specialty? Should I apply to another specialty in SOAP? Good question. Last year and every year this happens. Let's say last year, because emergency medicine had a lot of spots, people kept applying to EM without experience or LORs in EM. Like Ehtesham mentioned, you may get an interview because they quickly go through your profile, but the match is going to be very hard if all your profile and your LORs are in a different specialty. And more than the match, then you have to see whether you're ready to do that other specialty for the rest of your life. So, it's not easy to change specialties if you match into something else. So with that, let's go over the SOAP timeline for this season, some of the other tips that we have, and then we will take more questions. So Shella, do you want to take it from here?
Yep. Let me share my screen here. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I feel like there were some great tips from Ehtesham. He did a great job. The big thing I was, I guess, surprised by and impressed by was how much homework he did. I feel like that's a big part of it, is do your homework, know your area, know the program. So that's a big key, I think, that he talked about. Okay, so just a few questions for you, Puan, just to understand how SOAP works so everyone can understand who's eligible, how it works, the whole process. There's a change in the timeline this year, so we'll go over that. So first question is, who is eligible for SOAP? How do they know if they can apply for it?
SOAP eligibility, most of you who apply, in fact, 99.9% of those who you applied in the main match should be eligible. Your status will be updated in the R3 system the Friday before. Earlier, they used to send an email. I don't think now emails come, but your status that you are eligible should be updated in the R3 system the Friday or the week before. Now, there is always an issue where people think, oh my God, if I'm SOAP eligible, does it mean I did not match? No, it does not mean that you did not match. It just means that you are eligible for SOAP. So that's one. The other thing on this slide that you should be aware of, who all can apply to SOAP. So if you're already matched in a categorical, say IM program, you're not eligible for SOAP at all. Okay. But let's say you matched in a preliminary or a transitional year 1 year program, then you are eligible to apply to advanced specialty. So through advanced programs, you are eligible to apply to SOAP. If you matched in advanced but not in preliminary or transitional, then you can also apply to SOAP, but only for the transitional or the prelim year. And of course, if you did not match at all, no program, categorical, transitional, advanced, or you didn't get any interviews, then you can apply, you are eligible.
Perfect.
And the other
This slide
important,
talks
I
about
think
that.
the last point on the previous slide, you don't have to submit a rank order list. If you don't have an interview, that means you don't have a rank order list. So you don't have to submit a rank order list to be eligible. But of course, all of you have to register for the NRMP. Without NRMP registration, this thing will not work.
Right. So this slide talks about which programs
Yeah,
you were talking
sorry.
about.
So we already went
Okay.
over this. If you're partially matched, then you can to an advanced program, you can uh, apply to only prelim or transitional. If you are matched to a preliminary program, you can apply to advanced only. And if you're fully unmatched, you can apply to all programs.
What about the communication during SOAP? What are they allowed to do? Who can they contact?
Yes. So I think Ehtesham alluded to this a bit, but the main thing you all have to remember is you cannot initiate any communication with any program. By initiation, I mean you cannot say, "Oh, I see this program has a spot. Oh, this is in my neighborhood. Let me send them an email or let me call them." You cannot do that. You can only apply, and once the program calls you or emails you or something, once they initiate a contact with you, then you are free to connect with them, do whatever. But the first contact has to be from the program. That's the key on this question, because if you violate and if the program reports you to NRMP, ECFMG, you could be debarred from sitting into the match for up to 5 years. So take it very, very seriously.
This is only during the SOAP week, right?
This is only during the SOAP week. Of course, before the SOAP nowadays, obviously our students are sending letter of intent, etc. All that is fair. And even after the SOAP ends, NRMP will publish still a list. There may still be programs that are left unfilled. But the SOAP has ended, so NRMP will say now you can connect with those programs. So during the SOAP week or the duration of the SOAP, you cannot initiate any contact. But after that or before that, you're all free.
Gotcha. Okay, now we're going to go the next 4 slides, talk about the timeline and how that actual from Monday to Friday, how the week actually works.
Yes, so this is something you should all be aware of. This year on Monday, which is March 11, that's when you find out you will get an email whether you matched or you didn't match. If you didn't match, you're SOAP eligible, you will see the list of all programs. So preliminary, advanced, categorical, across all specialties. You will see that list in the R3 system where you can apply. Okay, so that will happen. And then you start preparing your application. When we say preparing your application, you cannot change your EDAS CV. So it's maybe your personal statement, like we are working with our students, personal statement changes, maybe new LOR. This is important, like Ehtesham said. The more recent the USCE, the better it is. If some of you are still looking for USCE, between now and 11th March, we can help both tele and otherwise. So new rotations always help. So do all of that. Start preparing your application, personal statement, LORs, etc. All that you need to do. You cannot touch your CV, of course. And then you apply. Now, on Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern is when the programs will start accessing your application. So you actually got, let's say from 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern till 8 a.m. next day, almost 20 hours where you research the program, which is very critical, as he mentioned. Research, do your due diligence, change your PS if you need to, and all that, and select those 45 programs to apply. And Sarthi also helps our students in all of this. So Programs start at 8 a.m. Eastern. The programs do their work, and then Wednesday is, as he said, then they start conducting interviews. So some of them could start conducting even sooner, even on Tuesday, but mostly, it's Wednesday is the day when they start officially. But like he said, they could call you, they could email, they could call on Tuesday, uh, and just want to discuss a preliminary phone call, then a formal interview on Wednesday. So who knows? So the point is, be ready on Tuesday. Okay, let's move to.
Okay, then you
Okay,
have, so that was
so
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I have Thursday.
Yeah, so Wednesday is when all the interviewing, etc. happens. Then what happens in SOAP is the SOAP spots are given out in what is called a round. I think there are 3 or 4 rounds, I think. They all happen on Thursday officially. Although on Wednesday, the program can tell you, okay, we are going to make you an offer. But the offer will come up in the R3 system on Thursday. So round one, let's say Shela got an offer on in round one. It'll appear in Shaila's R3 system, and Shaila will have to accept or reject. So typically an IMG will accept, but let's say after round one, the program has one more spot left. Then they can go to round two, make another offer to one of the applicants they have interviewed. So that's how it works. There is no rank order list in SOAP from an applicant perspective. You get one offer, you accept or reject. And if you want to reject it, then maybe you'll get something in round two, round three, and so on and so forth. So, but what you have to remember is Wednesday or maybe Tuesday, you'll have interviews. The formal results in the R3 system you will see on Thursday, where you have to accept or reject the offer. So that's how all this time is for the rounds. Everything ends, I think, on Thursday. Uh, you know.
Perfect. Yep, and then this is the round 3 and 4, all
Yes.
on that same Thursday.
All on the same Thursday, round 3 and 4, same idea. The programs, let's say they have 5 spots and they don't get any qualified applicant in round 1, so they may move to round 2. Round 2, they would have all interviewed everyone on a Wednesday, and Thursday is just kind of prioritizing. They make you an offer, you reject, they go to the next one, make them an offer, so on and so forth. That's what the round is. Rounds will end at 8 p.m. on Thursday. So that's what it is. But if you look at the last bullet here on this slide, which says at 9 p.m. on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, the unfilled program, there may be some unfilled programs that are there. That list is made available. And if you have not still matched, if you are still eligible, then you can start contacting any remaining unfilled programs. So at 9 p.m. on Thursday, the story is still not over, right? So there may be programs, and a lot of Sarthi students have gotten off-cycle interviews. These are post-SOAP, but before start of residency, it takes time, few days. But many Sarthi students get interviews even after SOAP.
Yeah, that would be exciting. Okay, and then this is Friday of match week.
Yes, absolutely. So Friday of the match week, whether you match in SOAP or you have the regular match, Friday is when you know which program you're going to, the exact specialty. Of course, SOAP you will. If you got an offer in SOAP and you accepted, you immediately know which program, which specialty. But for all the other applicants who have gone through the regular match and came to know on Monday, March 11, that they matched, Friday is when they will know which exact program. So that's the entire timeline between now and end of SOAP or end of the match week, which is March 15.
Exciting day. Okay, a couple more slides. So I think you touched on this a little bit, but what can they edit during the SOAP application?
Yes. So as we mentioned, You cannot edit your ERA CV. It's the same that you used in the season. Of course, you can edit your personal statement. There was earlier a question that can we use 1PS, or we strongly recommend changing personal statement, at least for the specialty where you are applying in SOAP. You can add LORs. In fact, you can use all 4 LORs if you have time, new LORs. But obviously, you may not have time to do 4 US clinical experiences. So if you have done, let's say, many of our students are doing the USC at this point, in this month. So they'll get an LOR before March 11 or March 5th. They'll upload that LOR and use that LOR. So you can use new LORs. Can I change specialties? Yes, you can. But remember, you have to have relevant experience. It's very hard to get a match in a specialty in SOAP where you don't have relevant experience, relevant LORs. That gets harder. The programs, because it's very fast paced, may offer you an interview, but during the interview, they may find, and you may find, that it's not a natural fit. Having said that, the chances of interview in related specialties tend to be very high just because of the number of spots. The programs are also desperate, right? And so that could happen. Last year, like we know, emergency medicine had a lot of spots. So that is true. The broader issue here is, do you really see yourself working in that different specialty? I think that is a question only you can answer. If, for example, you see a spot in pediatrics, uh, if you apply, whether your application was IM focused or not, do you see yourself working as a pediatrician for the rest of your life? If the answer is yes, then probably you should apply and be ready. If they offer you a position, you want to match, then great. But if not, that's something you have to think about. The other factor, of course, how to select those 45 programs. Mostly your chances will be great in community programs. University programs typically will favor their own medical students, and it's harder. University programs may have more competition. Many of the preliminary spots you will see will be for their own students. So look for community programs in remote areas. That would be your best bet. Of course, if you are living in a city and there is a program that has had a position open, that would also be a good idea. If you interviewed at a program during the main season, like Ehtesham said, they didn't offer you a match, apply to them again. If you signaled a program, you saw they come up in SOAP, apply to them, so on and so forth.
I saw someone asked, can I apply to, is it 45 of each specialty? So 45 IM, 45 FM?
45 total. So this is all free. You've already paid NRMP. This is, as I joke, this is the only thing which is free in the entire USMLE journey. The 45 program, you're not paying anything, but it is limited to 45. You can apply to 5 IM, 40 EM, or the total has to be 45.
Gotcha. And I was looking at the NRMP data from last year, the highest specialties that appear, at least for last year, were IM, FM, EM, and then prelim surgery and prelim medicine. Those are kind of the higher ones you're going to see probably most often.
Absolutely. And maybe, our team can give more details on which specialty. We'll probably write a blog or something about the last season, which specialty appears the most. But you're right, emergency medicine appeared quite a bit, preliminary programs. But we had at least 12 matches in internal medicine in SOAP. So more than 100 programs in internal medicine also appeared.
Okay, so that leads us to the probability and the results. So this is from the NRMP data. You can see the list of eligible applicants, how many positions were accepted, then unique applicants
Yes.
in each of the categories.
So
22 to 23.
yeah, this is excellent actually. So this actually shows, now you may think the numbers are less, which they are. So non-US IMGs only 5.7% in SOAP 2023, but it's a big jump from 3.2 in SOAP of the previous year. The point is the SOAP also has been increasingly becoming friendly for IMGs. As you can see, the numbers that you're showing, Shaila, unique applicants, the US citizens or IMGs, non-US citizens or IMGs, if we see their figure about 378 in last season, 304 prior to that. So SOAP is hard, no doubt about it. It is very tough, very challenging, very fast paced. But like I was saying, 12 of Sarthi students matched. Last season, we had about 23 interviews all put together only in SOAP. So the SOAP is improving for IMGs. It's a very realistic shot, but a hard one. And if you don't match, it's all free. I'd encourage all of you to go into SOAP if you don't match.
Great, thank you. So then how can Sarthi help with the SOAP process?
Yeah, so we have, like Shaila is saying, we have a couple of plans. You can look at it, and Shaila, maybe you can send them a link. And if any of you need more information, Shaila can provide. You can set up time with Shaila to go over your profile, etc. But mostly what we have in these two plans is you'll set up a strategy session with me. Depending on the plan, you will have a mock interview. We will review your CV. We cannot change your CV, but personal statement, we'll kind of edit it. Okay, you will have access to some of our SOAP classes also, which has more tips, what type of questions to expect, etc. All that is part of these two plans. So if you're interested, get in touch, and Shaila, maybe you can throw some links so that
Yeah,
they
I'll put that link in there. Yeah, I think it's huge to have that one-on-one session to be able to know how you can prepare and put your best foot forward for the SOAP.
Yep.
So, okay, did you want to take any more questions?
Yeah, so let's take some questions in the last 5 or so minutes. Can IMG match into neuro? Yes, absolutely. In SOAP, we've had such matches before. And like I said, we may publish, this is NRMP data. So you will be able to see which specialty IMGs also have matched in. What percentage of non-US IMGs are visa requiring? I don't know what in SOAP they the numbers as visa requiring IMGs, but out of our 12 matches, 8 were visa requiring. So that much I can tell you. Does prelim surgery have a greater chance of offer? Prelim surgery will have a lot of spots. It depends on your profile. So absolutely, they will have a lot of spots. Can you explain the difference between categorical, advanced, and preliminary? So that's a good question. We actually have a blog on this, and maybe we'll do a video or a session on this. I want to do that. But basically, categorical is a program where you are fully trained, as in you match once, you get out fully trained. So say internal medicine, family medicine, pediatrics. Even radiology has categorical radiology. So that's categorical programs. One match, you are done. Advanced program. So preliminary programs are 1-year programs. It could be prelim surgery, it could be prelim IM, it could be transitional. Prelim surgery is more geared towards the surgery specialty. So you do 1 year in prelim or IM or transitional, the three kinds, and then you do the advanced. So radiology, ortho, derm, general surgery, they all require a preliminary year. Neuro requires a preliminary year, and most of them go for either transitional year or internal medicine. So there are these factors, and you will see that in the SOAP as well. Historically, are there positions available for radiology, pathology, or psychiatry in SOAP? The brief answer is yes. For actual numbers, we'll have to dig in the data, which we will, and we'll let you know. Is IM more IMG friendly than Neuro for Match? I don't know if you're asking Match or you're asking SOAP. SOAP will just depend on which program shows up. It's very hard to say. And friendliness of IM and Neuro, I think Sheila and I have done a video prior. You can take a look at that. At least till last season, we have the data. What happens if I don't have a US number? I am sorry if you don't have a US number. I don't know if they will contact you. I don't know. This is very fast paced. They may send you an email or they may move on to the next applicant. So hard to say. The only advice is get a US number, and it's not difficult. You can get a US number through Google or Skype or one of these. Okay. Can we use internal medicine, LOR, for family medicine, emergency medicine, etc.? If you don't have the emergency medicine LOR and you want to apply to SOAP for EM, I think you have nothing to lose. Use it and then defend it in the interview. Is there a telemedicine for EM? You will have to check our link. Shailam, you can probably post the link for our rotations, and you can filter by specialty and city and state. So you can see that what we have. Okay, and if I missed a question, I'm sorry. We will put it on maybe YouTube, and then you can also ask the questions. Or just post the question here. A lot of HCIM programs went into SOAP, but there is a perception that they don't take visa requiring candidates. So is it a waste to apply? It depends on which other programs show up, right? Maybe there are other visa sponsoring programs that show up, then don't apply to HCA. But you're right. In general, HCA programs don't like to sponsor visa, but hey, if they get in SOAP, they are desperate, right? And if you have no other option, apply to them and take your chances. Are there a lot of advanced programs in SOAP? Yes. Again, the actual number and the type of program, we will only get to know that day. All right. With that, I think I covered all the questions. We'll keep this chat open so that you can grab the link. But thank you all for joining, and thank you, Sheila. This was good. And if you have any questions, Sheila, maybe you can, for those of you applying to SOAP or next season, you can get in touch with us. We will do a free session with you so that you can see where you stand and what you need to do. So Sheila, maybe a link to your profile review. And with that, we will be in touch with our next webinar. For those of you applying into the next season, we do have a conference coming up this weekend on research, where you'll see students talk about their research experiences, and they'll present their research.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that video provided valuable insights for your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website for details on how we can guide you to a successful match.